Put me in the lab, watch me cook up like a chef. Don't tell me I can't ball, cause boy you ain't no ref. Making plate after plate after plate on our stuff.
Hey y'all, it's Dale again. Y'all, I am coming from a beautiful spot this morning. Hey, I'm in downtown Prattville, Alabama again, and I am standing in front of a beautiful flower garden. And in the background, we have the falls. That's what's called Pratt's Mill. That's right, this is Pratt's Mill. So look, I'm gonna flip this camera around and show you this beautiful flower garden I'm looking at here. Hey, do y'all see that? Y'all, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Man, I tell you what, it does my heart good to see these lovely flowers. And I'm gonna tell you this right here, as I walk around, there's something special right behind this flower garden. And as I raise this camera, there it is. There is a beautiful fountain that's over there in the background. My, that is a beautiful sight. So hey, I know that you didn't come and begin to view this video because of this beautiful flower garden or the waterfalls in the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this camera around and talk to you a little bit. All right, I'm back. And so as I walk and as I talk, I'm just gonna be very simplistic this morning. And you know, my purpose for doing this channel is to encourage, motivate, provide hope, and I want this to be something that you latch on to and actually wear with you in the midst of your life. Have hope, have faith, be encouraged, love God. And so I'm gonna say this as I kind of get this camera here and this fountain in the background, because you all know I love fountains and water features. So I would say this right here, and I've made a video about this in the past. Live your dreams. And you're gonna say, Dale, how do I do that? Well, you're gonna do it by designing the kind of life that you wanna live. I don't believe anything happens just by happenstance. In this physical realm, we have to plan, we have to be intentional about the kind of lives that we want to live. We just don't throw things up and say, okay, oh well, wherever the chips fall, whatever. I would say this, you've got to be intentional about what you want for your life. And I'm not talking about anything that's complicated. I'm going to say something as simple as removing stress and anxiety from your life. Now, a lot of you all have jobs, family members, social interactions that can provide stress, anxiety, grief, and trepidation, the whole 9 yards. You know, I was watching a fellow YouTuber, and he was interviewing this lady, and she had made a decision. She said, you know what? All my life, I've been a giver. I've been a caregiver. I've always looked out for my family. But I've come to realize that, you know what? I've got to live for myself. This lady said, you know what? If I do not take the opportunity to live for myself, I'm not gonna have a life. I love my family, but you know what? It's never enough. I have given so much and I found out that it's never enough for my family. So this lady made a drastic decision. And that decision was, you know what? If I've got to move out of the country in order for me to live the life that I want, that's what I'm going to do. Now, that's a bit drastic. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. And I will share this with you. In my younger days, I used to wonder, man, why did that person move all the way across the country away from their family? Now, the obvious explanation was it was a career move. It was a career move. But then as I got older, I said, yeah, it was a career move, all right. But you know what? That person wanted to put some distance between themselves and the stress that they were experiencing. So I would say to you, there are people that have other people depending on them. Okay? Or at least they believe people are depending on them. You know, something came to me, and I've shared this with a couple of friends and family in recent months. I said, you know what? There's always somebody who wants something from you. And some of those same folks are your harshest critics. Well, you know what? Your harsh critics, whether they're family, friends, or otherwise, they're living the lives that they want to live. I repeat, they are living the lives that they want to live in the midst of criticizing you. So I'm going to tell you this. You live the life that you want to live. Because you know what? Charity begins at home and spreads abroad. Charity begins at home and spreads abroad. How can you be everything to somebody else when you have not provided what you need for yourself? Love is what love does. How do you go out and love the world and take care of the world when you're not taking care of yourself? Y'all, that's an interesting question, right? How do you go out into the world and love the world and take care of the world, and you're not loving and taking care of yourself? Hey, you need peace of mind. You need a stress-free environment. And I'm not saying that you're going to live a life that's totally stress-free, but there are some stressors that we have in our lives that we do not necessarily have to live with. We're living with it because of a choice, and we don't want to make a hard decision. You know what? I've got a good friend, and I've learned something from him over the last several years. When he feels that he needs some time to himself, you know what he does? He unplugs. He unplugs. He turns his phone off. He puts his phone on mute. You know what? There's a lot to be said for that. I used to work with this guy, and he would tell me how he and his wife would like to travel around and camp. They'll just go out of town somewhere to a state park or a national park. And what they would do when they get there, they would turn their phone off. And if they was there for a week or 2 weeks, you know what they would do? They would turn their phone on once a week to check their messages. Once the messages were checked, and if they had to return a telephone call, the phone went right back off. They turned it off. Now I know, in this day and time, God, that is, some folks saying that's terrible. Why are you doing that? Well, they're doing that, and I would encourage you to do that if you need to, because sometimes the only way you can get some peace of mind is to unplug. Remember, this is your life. So you live the kind of life you want to live. Forget about the critics, the naysayers, the haters. Remember what I said. Haters gonna hate. and God is going to be God. Stay in prayer. Do what's best for you. Forget about critics inside your family, outside your family, or otherwise. Live the life that you designed for yourself, and you'll be so much better for it. With that being said, it's Dale again. It's been my pleasure. God bless you and keep you, y'all. And until next time, peace.
Just look at me and see this greatness on the ground like at a crime scene. It's evidence. Watch the Holy Spirit shake up your residence. Get some reverence. All these blessings round and round. Ain't no way that they ain't heaven sent. They ain't believe in us, but God did. Pushing the